As movie viewers, we are commonly the most invested in the main character of the story. They typically have the best lines, the best arc throughout the movie, and the most frequent and awesome action scenes. And we usually see the film take place through their eyes as we learn the rules and the setup of the film that we're in. There are times, however, where the movie's protagonist is overshadowed by either the villain, a best friend, or another supporting character who may end up taking center stage in someone else's movie. Now, I took my initial list of over 40 instances that this stood out to me and narrowed them down to my 10 favorites. So here are, in my opinion, the top 10 supporting characters who stole the movie. So let's get to it. Kicking off this list is Les Grossman, and he's a character that's introduced to us as an aggressive and ill-tempered studio executive who's funding the Tropic Thunder movie that our heroes are attempting to make. And from the moment that he appears on screen and orders the key grip to punch his rookie director in the face really fucking hard, we knew that he was going to be a hilarious character and great addition to this star-studded cast. Now, I have to be honest with you, it wasn't until roughly halfway through this movie that I realized that this character was in fact Tom Cruise wearing a bald cap and some super large, hairy arm prosthetics, and I was immediately in love with the character and his antics. The cherry on top is the scene that he shares with Matthew McConaughey's super agent, and we get a deeper look into the lengths at which Les will go to make a profit. Truly iconic, and this man, he can dance. Number 9 is Kano from the new Mortal Kombat movie, and this film was met with lukewarm response from fans. While many praised its action scenes, most notably the introduction of Scorpion and Sub-Zero at the very beginning of the film, the biggest gripe was not actually having a tournament in a movie based off of a fighting tournament. And then you throw us a super boring main character, Cole Young, who wasn't even in the games to begin with. And fans were just kind of up in arms about all this. However, what all fans could agree on is that the one standout character was Josh Lawson's Kano. This loudmouth Australian steals every scene that he's in, and even though he betrays our heroes and ends up on the wrong side of a garden gnome by the end of the film, we still love everything about him. The training montage scene is especially funny and self-aware, and Kano alone makes this movie watchable. But luckily for us, we have Carl Urban coming for the sequel to give us what I can only imagine will be a hilarious rendition of the iconic Johnny Cage. Fingers crossed we actually make it to the tournament this time. Number 8 is Hans Landa from Inglourious Basterds. Now, it only took one single scene for everyone to see exactly why this man is widely known by his nickname, the Jew Hunter. He's ruthless and cunning, and his ability to read people and the situation in front of him allows this German SS officer to effectively hunt down Jews hiding in France with relative ease. And we get a first-hand glimpse at how much this man enjoys his work during the chilling opening sequence, as he seems to feel no remorse whatsoever for the lives that he is directly responsible for taking. Now, Christopher Waltz's performance is an absolute masterclass in how you craft a horrifying yet captivating movie character villain. And we don't have to like this man to enjoy watching him, and fans do rejoice every time Landa is on screen. Now, he may strike a deal with the USA and turn over the Nazis, but we can't say that we don't enjoy watching this detestable man get his comeuppance in the end. Number 7 is Captain Barbosa from the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. And Captain Barbosa is the primary antagonist in the first Pirates movie, and you'd think because we all love Captain Jack so much that his arch rival would be someone we hate with a fiery passion. However, thanks to Jeffrey Rush's charismatic performance as Barbosa and his somewhat sympathetic story of long-standing suffering, that we learn to love this vile man and even maybe respect his code, if you will. But by the end of the nearly 3-hour epic, I, along with many viewers, were very sad to see him meet his end at the hands of Jack. Luckily for us, he returns in the third movie as a sort of hero alongside our primary cast, and he chews even more scenery for the remainder of the franchise. It's hard to imagine someone upstaging Johnny Depp's Captain Jack Sparrow in his very own movie, but Barbosa is arguably the more developed and entertaining character. Number 6 is Darth Vader, and he may very well be the most famous movie character of all time. Even those who have never seen a single second of Star Wars, they know the face. Hell, they probably even know the sound of his breathing and likely his most iconic but often misquoted line. And from the moment this giant of a man clad in all black walks on screen, his towering frame and scary wizard-like abilities show without a doubt why he is widely viewed as the most ferocious and intimidating man in the whole galaxy far, far away. Played by 4 men in total during the original trilogy, with 3 men actually stepping into the suit, and of course the most iconic part of this Dark Lord, the vocal work from James Earl Jones. His voice is enough to strike fear into the hearts of any rebel scum, and I am glad that I live in a world where we seem poised for even more Vader content. With James Earl Jones nearly 93 now, the actor graciously signed over his iconic voice to an AI company so that even after his death, the most famous character of all time can live on forever. Cracking the top 5 is Professor Snape from the Harry Potter's franchise. Now, Professor Snape spends a majority of the Harry Potter movies popping out from the shadows and harassing our young heroes as they constantly find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now, J.K. Rowling's brilliant vision of the character in the novels is brought to life by screenwriter Steve Kloves and, of course, the late Alan Rickman's complete transformation into the character. Now, we learn more and more about this enigma of a man throughout the 8 films, and by the end we learn that he's actually someone who cares very deeply for the ones he loves and would go to any length to ensure their well-being. The aforementioned and sorely missed Rickman was Rowling's one and only choice for the role, and we can absolutely see why. It's hard to imagine anyone else playing that part and delivering those lines so coldly, and yet there was always a softer side, slightly present, just waiting to be released. When I say Silence of the Lambs, I'm sure most would start immediately quoting the most famous character to come out of that film, our number 4 entry, Hannibal Lecter. Now, Jodie Foster's Clarice Starling was amazing in her own right, and the actress even won an Academy Award for her work. But Anthony Hopkins' performance was absolutely transcendent, and enough to earn him an Oscar despite only appearing on screen for 16 minutes total out of the 2-hour-long film. And while on screen, Lecter is absolutely magnetic, and the audience, as well as Clarice, are acutely aware of the dangers this madman possesses, but they can't help enjoy every chance they get to spend a minute or two hearing him speak. He possesses amazing powers of deduction and observation, genius-level intellect, and a penchant for getting out of sticky situations as violently as necessary. And while he seems a proper, educated fellow with manners and charm, I can assure you that you'd never want to be alone with Hannibal, the cannibal, or you may end up on the menu with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. Number 3 is the Joker from A Dark Knight. Now, Christian Bale was a fine Batman and an above-average Bruce Wayne. He and director Christopher Nolan injected new life into a dormant franchise that so sorely needed a shot in the arm to recover from the Schumacher toy commercials. But as good as Batman Begins is, it's not until the sequel that we are introduced to the greatest character and performance ever in a superhero movie, arguably any movie. The late Heath Ledger's take on the Joker rocked the genre to its core and helped usher in a new, grounded take on many of our classic heroes and villains. His mannerisms, tics, and overall Agent of Chaos demeanor were equal parts hilarious and bone-chilling. Each and every scene that he's in is dynamic. It's a true shame that we only got this one performance of the character before his untimely death. However, if you only get one shot at it, creating the definitive version of DC's most iconic villain is a damn great way to leave your mark on the genre. This young actor was on his way to the top after this performance, and many believe that dropping down to the depths of this madman's psyche might have unfortunately played a role in this thespian's downfall. The title of the movie may be Aladdin, but there's no denying that Our number 2 entry on this list, the Genie, voiced by the absolute legend and comedic force that is Robin Williams, was the greatest thing to come out of this animated movie, and I don't think anybody would really argue that. He's got the best lines, he's got the best song, and his journey from slave to freedom is worthy of a movie all its own. It's Williams' delivery, energy, and unique ability to riff and improvise that really brings this 2D character off the screen. Now you pair that with some of the best animation Disney's ever done, and it's easy to see why this Genie is, even today, so fondly remembered by kids and adults alike. Williams was a staple of the 80s and 90s and gave the world so many iconic characters, but to any child of the time, myself included, the character that made us laugh the most was the big blue goofball. We miss you, Mr. Williams, but your legacy lives on through your millions of fans. Even if you aren't a Western fan, it's worth tuning into the 1990 film Tombstone for our number 1 entry and Val Kilmer's stunning performance as Wyatt Earp's best friend, Doc Holliday. Now, to say that Val steals every single scene that he's in would be the understatement of this or any century. Literally, every scene that he's in is filled to the brim with one-liners and quotes that many of us still use to this day. His demeanor is calm, and yet everyone, even the villains, know how capable he is in almost every situation. He's an ace card player and a quick-draw sharpshooter. He truly was a legend of the Old West. When we see so many badass cowboys throughout this movie, but everyone rightfully stands aside when Doc was ready to play for blood. The even more amazing part is that we don't see Doc at his peak. The film depicts the last months of his life while he's fighting tuberculosis. And Val Kilmer does a stunning job of showing us Doc's frail and deteriorating condition while still seeming like the most dangerous man in the movie whenever it's time to skin that smoke wagon and go to work. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you've watched this entire video and you haven't subscribed, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I got more content coming. Comment down below and let me know your list or 1 or 2 or 3 that I left off. Again, I told you I had 40 people on this list, so obviously there was a lot of contention to get this top 10. Let me know your favorite, whether it was on my list or not. But comment down below, please, guys. I want to talk to you. I want to meet all of you. Comment. Let me know if you have any ideas for videos you'd like me to do, and I'll be sure to put it on the list of stuff to come. So I thank you all so much. Thank you all for the support. We're on the march to 500. We're so close to getting monetized, and then once that happens, I've got a big surprise plan for everyone. So love you all very much. Thank you again for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Have a great weekend. If you're not seeing this until Friday, be good people. Be good to each other, and we'll catch you next time. Yeah.